Wow, for a game that some consider to be the worst game in the Call of Duty franchise, y'all voted for Ghost to be reviewed now. Regardless if Ghost is or isn't the worst Call of Duty game, it was the first Call of Duty on a next-gen console such as the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. And because the Steam Deck is often compared to the PlayStation 4, I think that reviewing this game's performance on the deck would be a fitting thing to do. So, how does Call of Duty Ghost perform on the Steam Deck? Is its current rating of playable an accurate rating? And is this game worth playing on the go? Let's get into it. Like Call of Duty Black Ops 2, when you buy this game, you are getting two applications. It's divided up by Call of Duty Ghosts and Call of Duty Ghosts Multiplayer. It's kind of stupid, I know, but that's just how it is. So, let's dive into the main application and go from there. Also, I will have everything installed excluding DLC, so if you don't have both applications installed, I don't know what will happen exactly. We have the main menu. The graphics for image and texture quality was set to normal right out of the box, and at 720p. Most of my time playing was at these settings, but cranking up the graphics to the highest and set to 800p, I didn't notice a difference in performance. I did not notice any visual bugs during gameplay. The frame rate was almost consistently 60 frames per second. I did have some stutters and frame drops during my play, but nothing that made it unplayable. Where I had the most stutters was on the second and third levels, Brave New World and No Man's Land. I'm not sure if it was just the fact that I was breaking in the newly downloaded software, if that's a thing, or if there were some issues that I had with the operating system. Upon replaying these two missions though, I didn't notice any of the same stutters. Where I had the biggest frame drops was on the mission called The Hunted. It's the level where your team gets attacked by the Federation and you must regroup and escape in the jungle while Federation soldiers search for you. The frame rate would consistently drop into the 40s, but it never felt unplayable, especially if you're taking the silent approach. But when the game did drop, you can feel the responsiveness of your inputs drop too. I believe that the frame rate drops in this mission due to all of the moving parts on the screen that are on there at once. You have tall grass, rushing water, fire, and moving enemies that the deck has to work with. If you're into saving battery life and want to try out the game at 30 frames per second, don't. It feels unplayable. It genuinely feels worse than Black Ops 2 at 30. 30 on consoles work, but for PC games, it really does not. Unlocking the frame rate will allow anywhere from 70 to 140 frames a second, but that is basically useless because the deck strictly goes up to 60. And it knocks about an hour off of playtime, which is usually around 2 to 3 hours at 60 frames. From start to finish of the campaign, I don't think I could say that this game was unplayable at all, but instead, it is one of the most functional games I've ever played on this device. So, the campaign checks out in my book. Moving on to the Extinction mode. This game requires you to have an internet connection. For some reason, the PC version of this game requires you to be online. Remember my question about, is this game worth playing on the go? This is what I mean. I don't know how it is on the Wii U, but on the PlayStation 3 and 4, Xbox 360 and 1, it does not require you to be online. Since this game requires you to be online to play, I'm sorry, but this mode will not be the most accessible part of the game. So if you whip out the deck on a road trip and you have no Wi-Fi, and you think to yourself, wow, I really want to play Extinction, all I got to say is, sorry little Timmy. I've harped on that long enough, so how does it perform? Well, it performs just fine. It's basically locked at 60 frames per second. I didn't have any micro stutters, nor did I have any latency. It was simply a fully functional mode with the launch map for Extinction. everything works just fine. Lastly, we have the multiplayer. Just like Extinction mode in every way, the game requires an internet connection even if you're playing it by yourself. Sadly, there is no workaround for this issue. The multiplayer is also the same because, like Extinction, it performs just fine. I had it doing the most CPU stressful task of maxing out the number of bots in the lobby and playing it. The game runs fine. I can't recall any dips in frames or stutters, but what I did notice was the absurd time to kill. I know, not performance, but my goodness, it's so fast. So, how do I rate the compatibility of the game? For the main application, which is required for everything but primarily the campaign, I give it a verified rating. But Valve rates it as playable, which I clearly disagree with. Then for the multiplayer application, which needs the main application, which accesses both Extinction and multiplayer, I say it deserves a verified rating. The game is almost flawless and acts like a console port. Thank you for watching this review of how the Steam Deck performs with the title Call of Duty Ghosts. I hope you leave a like if you found this helpful or educational. I plan on taking a brief break from this until I make Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the 2009 title, review, because that has been on the hold for months now. Please subscribe and have a wonderful day, everybody. God bless. This is Skippy skipping on out of here.